Hey guys, Nystel here. I'm bringing you my third installment of my Storytime series. If you're new to the series, I was an active duty Marine from 2003 to 2007. I spent 14 months total in Iraq, and in this series I talk about my different experiences that I had while in the military. I will have a link in the description to the two previous videos where I talk about life in the Marine Corps boot camp, and also a story of when I was blown up in my truck in Iraq. In this video, however, I will talk to you guys about my second story that I have from that same deployment, and if time permits, I'll tell you guys a quick story, scary story, from my first deployment. I first want to apologize to you guys if you guys are expecting a bunch of photos like I had in the previous video. Unfortunately, I really don't have that many more left. I kind of sort of blew my load in the last video, and I do have some maps and a few pictures to show you, but nothing like I had in the last video. So let's get started with this. Now, during my second deployment, after I got blown up in my truck probably in July. This is now August. Yes, it's August, end of August. And I was taken off my platoon, off my convoy runs with my platoon. I wasn't with my platoon anymore. I was attached to the daily crew, the guys that still move supplies, but it was only on base. The day-to-day operations of moving things around on base and getting other things. And this particular mission that we were doing was I was taking a bunch of ammo from our base to the base right outside Camp TQ, called Camp Habaneem. So, you had a big base of like there. I'm showing you the map of TQ. Right outside on that is Camp Habaneem. So to get there, I had to get all the way to the other side of the base and then get out the front gate. So I was driving this vehicle, the LDS. You guys remember that from me showing you guys that in the previous video, but this is an extra trail if you noticed. That's the tandem tow. I was driving that vehicle. And what it was ammo. What I did was the previous night I dropped the ammo, the truck off at the ASP ammo supply point. The guys there loaded my truck up with the ammo. I picked the truck up in the morning, drove it back to the motor pool. I wanted to do my final checks and things like that. So the truck has been running now for about 45 minutes or so. And I get clearance to leave. My A driver and I get the truck to go. I have to have another person in the truck because looking at that vehicle, it's a pretty big truck. Now, if I'm in the driver's side, I can't see off my right shoulder or the other mirrors. So an assistant driver is always there for you, to help guide you and coordinate how you're going to move things around the truck. So we get clearance to leave, and here's the map again, and there's the red line that my path that I was following. It was just going on around the big airstrip there, and we get about halfway there, and the road on TQ is one lane. And I'm meaning there only one vehicle can be on the road at a time. So when you have to pass somebody, you have to drop a set of tires off onto the shoulder and share the road with somebody. And that's what's happening. The car was coming, the vehicle, I guess, I don't know what it was coming towards me, and I was going towards him, and we have to share the road so we can pass each other. And honestly, guys, people are going to say I was speeding and things like, no. I was doing 20 in this damn vehicle. I passed this guy. First off, I dropped my set of tires onto the shoulder. I'm sharing the road with this guy. We pass each other. I go to correct myself, put myself back on the road, and this thing is such a shitty truck that I have to move the wheel a good 10 to 15 degrees each way just to keep the thing straight. So I correct myself back onto the road, and then all of a sudden, the back end of the tandem tow starts moving back and forth, kind of like fishtailing. It's what I was doing was a fishtailing. Well, I was fishtailing so bad, it hit a barrier on my left-hand side of the road, which caused the entire truck to flip. So I'm just thinking how I did this. I flipped with my left shoulder going down and flipped over like that. And I don't remember the actual how that happened or the incident. I remember sticking my hand out to brace myself on my door, and then going over. I don't remember going upside down. This happened in a matter of seconds. I'm talking about when I came to. I'm assuming maybe 10 seconds have gone by. I'm laying up. I'm up in my seatbelt, upside down in this truck. I can hear my A driver, which is she, not screaming, but kind of in pain. She was in pain, and my wrist really hurt. And all of a sudden, I start feeling this hot substance, liquid, falling on my back. Well, come to find out, that was the diesel fuel from the truck. It was scalding hot. And if you know anything about diesel fuel, it sticks and burns to human skin, and that's what it did. The tanks, the fuel tanks, are outside behind my head in this truck. You saw, remember looking at the truck, and it went upside down, and the top of the tanks aren't water sealed or what, liquid sealed, and so it dripped through the back ends of the truck and onto my back. I actually was fine, besides the big nasty looking burn that I had, a chemical burn on my back. I was fine. My A driver, she's the one that actually got flipped into the air, kind of a thing. She was the one that went over the top of me and then landed. She cracked a couple of vertebrae. She was fine, and she had to be airlifted out to I think it was Balad was the name of that base, where they have a better medical facility for her. She was done. She went home after that. So that ended my life as a operator in Iraq. I was up in a sling for a couple of days and pretty much stayed indoors in the barracks. Did guard duty a little bit until we left. And so all through that, I got some crazy memory of that thing, and then also just a pretty bad burn. And it was pretty ugly for a while. Unfortunately, I have a picture of it. But since then, I got free motion back, and it was fine. I don't really mark left. So that's really what happened. That was my story. There was a big cleanup. Somebody, people helped us out and got us out of there quickly. We had to call the fire guys and that foam shit, because the truck was still running and the fuel was everywhere. So obviously the scare was the main thing going up. So they had that fire foam spraying on everything. And I don't know who cleaned it up, all that stuff. I didn't. Kind of funny, the day that I did flip that truck was the day after my birthday. I flipped that truck on August 24th of 2006, yes. And my birthday is August 23rd. I turned 26 that year. Right? Yeah, no, I turned 25. I turned 25 on August 23rd, and the very next day I flipped my truck. So that was a nice little birthday gift to myself. It got me out driving more convoys and being out late, so I guess that was a plus. Unfortunately, guys, I won't be able to talk about my next story that I'll have, but I'll put it on my next video for sure. Put your likes down if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment if you so desire, and I will check you guys out on my next video. Take it easy, guys.
Mission accomplished. Nice job.